So it's a very rainy day in San Francisco today, and I'm just outside the city at Glassdoor talking to Samantha. Samantha, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Samantha Zupin. I head up the corporate communications team here at Glassdoor. Thanks so much for having me.
Hi Samantha, thanks very much for talking to me today. Just had a really interesting conversation about lots of different aspects of Glassdoor. Could you just maybe give us a potted history of Glassdoor very quickly?
Absolutely. So Glassdoor started in June 2008. We started with what we call company ratings and reviews and salary reports, which were provided by employees who worked at specific companies. And we added in interview questions and reviews, job listings, and most recently what we call Inside Connections, which is an opportunity to see who you know of your Facebook friends that work at specific companies. So we're really just trying to provide an inside look at jobs and companies.
What was the reaction like from employers when they found people were sort of rating the work experience?
That is a very good question. It's definitely an interesting concept, right? When your employees are providing information about what it's like to work at a company or sharing their salary. But really it's kind of this nature of the beast of, well, what can you learn from that information? So for example, for the company ratings and reviews, you can find out what your employees think are working well and what you think that they see as needing improvement. And so once employers kind of had this insight of, oh, okay, what can I do to make myself a more attractive employer, and what can I do to kind of change some things so that I can attract the right talent to my company?
That's cool. And tell us about the social integration you've just done, because I think that's that's a really interesting aspect as well.
Absolutely. So about a month ago, we launched a feature which we call Inside Connections. So quite simply, you sign into Glassdoor with your Facebook account, brings in all your friends, and it shows you just some simple information like your friend's name, their profile picture, their work history, and where they went to school. And then when you go look at a company, let's say you're interested in working at a company like Facebook or Google, you can see who of your friends or the friends of friends worked at that specific company.
And what sort of reaction have you had to that? Have people been worried about privacy, or has that not been an issue?
No, that's a really great question. I mean, again, there's some things about the jobs and job market that, of course, you're always interested in saying. So I'm very comfortable telling you my name's Samantha Zupin and I work at Glassdoor. But, it's kind of a little bit different experience, right, to tell you, well, let me tell you what's really going on. But when you can have these kind of two worlds of bringing together both your inside connections and then in a different space, get this anonymous insights into what it's like to work at a company or what you can earn at a company, people feel very comfortable in doing that, and it's been a tremendous success so far.
What kind of reviews are people writing? Are they, because I would imagine that social media law says that when people comment and write stuff, it tends to be the complainers and the negative people who write the most. How have you found that with Glassdoor?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple key factors to kind of point out with the reviews on Glassdoor. So every single company review on Glassdoor requires both what you say is pros and cons, so things that are working well and things that could be improved. Of the nearly 2.5 million pieces of content on Glassdoor, it's really interesting because 67% say they're okay or satisfied at their jobs. So while you might expect a lot of people to kind of say, oh gosh, all this is going wrong, most people are actually kind of doing okay, and I think there's a great way to kind of say, you know what, people are really looking and learning before jumping into a new job. Cool.
Okay, I think that's really interesting. And what about sort of internationally? How is Glassdoor sort of what countries does it cover? Because obviously you're kind of mainly US focused.
Yeah, we have been mainly US focused. About 20% of our traffic actually does come from international sources, with the top 3 being UK, Canada, and India. But there has been tremendous demand. We have currency information for 100 different countries. So let's say if you are in the UK, you can find salary information in pounds. So it's very interesting to make sure that you have that content that's relevant to you. Right now we're English speaking, and hopefully we'll be expanding very soon here.
What about the sort of mobile space? Because mobile, how do you think sort of mobile affects recruitment and what you're doing?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I think it's a space that's going to continue to be explored in the months and definitely years to come, and just figuring out the right space. I think right now it's just kind of figuring out where we are socially. As I've mentioned before, job search is innately social, and so as much as we can kind of figure out each piece of that, I think it's obviously going to segue into mobile and making sure that there's that right secret sauce for what people get on their phones and on those devices that we have basically attached to our hip most of the time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for speaking to me.
Thank you very much.